Okay, boys and girls, today we are doing 13-7. We are actually going to have two videos because I don't want one to be too long. So this is part one, and this lesson is about precision. It says here, I can be precise when solving math problems. These are multi-step problems, and in many cases, the units will be different. So for instance, they may have inches and feet in one problem, or they may have millimeters and centimeters, or miles and yards. So in all those cases, the most important thing is to make the bigger unit into the smaller unit. You need to convert, okay? This way you can actually solve the problem, and I'll show you some examples. Let's look at this first example right here. Jeremy uses 1.5 feet of tape for each box he packs for shipping. How many inches of tape does Jeremy need to pack 3 boxes? So if you notice, he uses 1.5 feet, but they're asking how many inches of tape Jeremy needs to pack the 3 boxes. So you can't have feet and inches. They're looking for inches. You can't leave this as feet. You got to change that to inches. So you'll see what I mean. How can you use the information given to solve the problem? Well, I need to find out how many inches of tape Jeremy uses for each box. Up here it says he uses 1.5 feet of tape for each box. Well, I need to find out how many inches of tape he uses for each box. And then once I get that, then I'm going to multiply to find out how many inches he uses for all 3 boxes. So this problem would have been easy if he says Jeremy uses 10 inches of tape for each box and he has 3 boxes. Well, that would be easy. That would be 10 times 3. But since this is feet, we have to change it to inches. Okay, how many inches of tape does Jeremy need to pack 3 boxes? Well, he uses 1.5 feet for each box. As you know, when you have your conversion sheet, there's 12 inches in each foot. So if you multiply those two using the distributive property, which you know, you get 18 inches. So there's 18 inches in a box for 1 box times 3 boxes is 54 inches. So that's the answer to the problem. Explain why you used the units that you did in your answer. Well, since the problem was asking how many inches, if you look up here, how many inches, and there's that famous question mark, right? How many inches? Then Jeremy needs, I had to convert 1.5 feet into inches. Okay, next problem. Mr. Reed collects shells. Each shell in her collection, Mrs. Reed, each shell in her collection weighs about 4 ounces. So it says about because it's not an exact number. Her collection weighs about 12 pounds in all. About how many shells are in Mrs. Reed's collection? Well, they did it to us again. Look at this. Each shell in her collection is 4 ounces. Altogether, her collection weighs 12 pounds. Pounds are different than ounces. So you need to make pounds, which is bigger than ounces, into ounces in order to solve this problem. Okay, so how can you use the information given to solve the problem? Well, first I'm going to change 12 pounds to ounces to find the weight of Mrs. Reed's shell collection. Then I'm going to divide to find about how many 4-ounce shells are in the collection. So to translate that a little bit, I'm going to make pounds into ounces, and you probably know from looking at your sheet, or you should know, there are 16 ounces in a pound. So I could do 12 times 16. That'll give me how many ounces our whole collection is. Each shell is 4 ounces. So if I want to find out how many shells she has, I'm going to take the answer of 12 times 16 and divide it by 4. So what is the total weight of Mrs. Reed's shell collection in ounces? Okay, I'm going to do 12 pounds times 16 ounces in 1 pound equals 192 ounces. How many shells are in Mrs. Reed's collection? Well, I have 192 ounces. I'm going to divide it by 4 ounces in each shell. That's what it says. Each shell has 4 ounces. So I know if the whole amount of ounces is 192, I divide it by 4, and that equals 48 shells. So that is how you solve that problem. Now I'm going to do part 2.